This is fairly short, by the way. So we're gonna go over I think 4 or 5 slides on here, and then we'll take it to doing some stuff on the platform. So here's so we're gonna go over what to expect, and then any feedback and support, and how you'll understand how that works as well. I'll actually show you the platforms that we use for feedback and support as well. I'm gonna go over what existed and then what now has changed. For number one, the entire platform has changed. Originally, you could go to Zillow to find inventory. Now you can see properties on the platform. Just keep in mind, you may not see all the properties that are on Zillow on the platform. We're using some APIs, things like that, to pull data, which is very costly. So what we're utilizing now is more so getting your criteria, determining your criteria, and then pulling properties from the MLS, which I'll talk about in a moment, to show properties based off of your criteria on the platform. But either way, you originally would go to Zillow to find properties, and then now you can just find those properties on the platform. You still may do that. You still may use Zillow for, the time being, but eventually all properties will be on the platform. You could submit Zillow links. So you would go to Zillow and then you would submit those links to us. Now you can request properties in the platform because when it comes to inventory, Zillow's pulling from the MLS the same as us. So you're pulling properties from the MLS from both places. One place you can just go to Zillow. The other place you can use our platform. But with our platform, like number four, you can actually see minimal numbers on the platform. We're working on getting full data. So right now we're working on a partnership with AirDNA. Right now we currently use MashVisor, but it's not as accurate as I would want it to be. But also I understand that using different platforms show different numbers. MashVisor and AirDNA both show completely different numbers. There's other platforms like Airbnb or BNB Calc that show completely different numbers than AirDNA and MashVisor. So we want to give you guys the ability to toggle between what platform you want to show numbers from instead of just showing you one platform of numbers. Originally you could just run numbers externally. Now you'll be able to see numbers on the platform. Originally, there was nowhere to submit feedback. Now you can submit all feedback and vote on new ideas at zfind.canny.io. In fact, some people have already left feedback and ideas that we've already added. We also add the change logs. We give a product roadmap as well on that site. You don't have to have an account to actually view everything, but if you want to create an account to leave feedback or leave comments or anything regarding interactions on that site, you can use it for that reason. The next point is you would use dedicated support using 3 different channels. Now it's support directly through the platform, which is the chat widget, or going to the help on the left navigation side, or going to the knowledge base and then submitting a ticket from there. So, everything points directly to, I'm sure you've heard of the email support@zfind.freshdesk.com. That's where all of the support tickets funnel into. But essentially, originally, you would either reply to an email that was sent to you of properties confirmed. You would use support@zfind.freshdesk.com, or you would use the email for support. Now, just so you know, Angela still is available. However, you'd have to request for her or speak to her through Fresh Desk support. So that's how it is. Now there's some other things that we're working on, more so of better support. So in addition to that, we're looking at a live chat window in the platform, and then also where you'll be able to hop on a Zoom call at any time of the day, 24/7, to get support help. That's something that we're having conversations with the coach just to see how it could work logistically, because we understand that a lot of students don't get off of work until the evening, and so we still want to be able to support them the best way possible without any conflict. So when it comes to suggested and recommended property emails, we're not going away with those, but more so when you add your criteria to the platform, we're using the platform to deliver you those properties. So instead of like So instead of us sending you properties that may not work numbers wise in the criteria side, you can set your criteria, and then we will know what you're looking for by you setting your criteria, which now we can add properties that more so fit your criteria than not. And so this is a better way to deliver you properties than the original means of just sending you properties that we recommend or suggest, because we don't want to waste your time in any way. You use Google Sheets to analyze expenses or operating expenses. Now we have the Z-Find analysis calculator. The reason why we say it's a rapid improvement is because your coaches actually sent that to us. Your coaches actually sent the Google Sheets to us so that we could build this to make you guys' life easier. One, to keep you from having to use many different platforms to run your operating expenses, but two, also to where you can see the numbers in real time from the calculator reflect on the numbers that could show on the actual listing, and it all be in one place. So you no longer have to go to Zillow. The goal is that you no longer have to go to Zillow. The goal is that you no longer have to use AirDNA to go outside of the platform to run numbers. And you can also do the calculator all within the same listing page itself. So that's our goal. We're still working on it, of course, but that's the initial goal. Now, the next point is unknown status of progress of your requested property. So, now you can view my increase to see the status. There's some things we're working on with my increase that's been left as feedback. You're able to see my increase for your status of your properties that you request, and you're able to see that live on the dashboard. Where it says unconfirmed on your dashboard, we're actually going to change that to rejected so that it shows visually more refined for you. The unconfirmed is showing how many properties on the platform are actually unconfirmed rather than it showing you what has been rejected for you. So we're going to change that so that you can see that based off of user feedback. Originally, you could contact support about updating your criteria. Now you can update the criteria in your settings. So it allows you to have 24/7 updating and instant feedback based off of the updates that's made. And then originally you would have to notify us to stop notifying you. So now we have the ability to adjust your notifications in the settings. So we have officially transitioned to the entirely new platform. This will still be your coach. This will still be through your coach. However, you can still submit Zillow links through the form that we provided until the form actually says otherwise. Zillow updates will still be given to you via email, but you're able to find sublease approved properties, see investment data, and request properties unapproved for sublease, which is technically the Zillow link feature on the platform as well. So you still have the ability to go on Zillow yourself, find properties that you like, submit them to us, but you can also still use the platform to still help you with your process. Eventually, those two things will be combined, and you no longer have to go to Zillow to find properties. You'll just do it all in one place. Now, when requested properties come back approved, they're exclusive to your knowing only until someone else decides to make the same request, which means that if you request properties, you're only going to know that that property is approved yourself. Nobody else is going to know that that property is approved themselves unless it's already been approved. But if you've made a request and another person has made a request and maybe another person has made a request on that property and it comes back approved, only the three of you will see that that property is approved publicly, or just one of you would see that that property is approved publicly if only one person actually made that request. So we did this to create some type of exclusivity because we can't actually hold the unit for you. But if you requested that property, it's only fair that you're the first person to see that request was approved so that you can pursue it as until someone else makes that same request. So that's just one thing to note. Properties are being pulled from the MLS. It's the same system that Zillow is using, which means the information is as accurate as it gets. But we're still unable to place units on hold. One, because they're being pulled from the MLS, so it's being updated in real time. And then also because the units are visible to not just users on our platform, but the entire internet. So it makes it nearly impossible to hold the units for you because of those various differences. Now, still keep in mind that regardless of the platform, regardless of the Zillow links, things like that, the changes that happen, our goal is still to help you get a lease. So just because we may mention things about feedback or we may mention things about changes that happen within the platform, our goal is to still help you get your first lease or get as many leases that you're trying to get. So our goal is still always going to be with that on the forefront. What we've created is only going to get better, but what we are creating is with everything in mind of making your life easier and making it cost less for you to get the same result that you would get by using all the other platforms if you were using them separately. We're currently in beta mode. This means that features are being actively developed. Some elements may change or expand rapidly. Your feedback is critical, of course. It helps us shape the future of Zfind when you share bugs, ideas, or just suggesting improvements. Now, when it comes to communication, you can use the platform providing ticket support and in-app chat support. Like I mentioned previously, we will continue to find ways to improve the support and how it's handled. Um, Whether it's the Zoom the live Zoom or the live chat on the platform, or even phone call support. So these are things that we're working on. And then how the platform communicates with you is anything notification wise. Now, how to leave feedback is zfind.canny.io. To get support, our support email is support@zfind.freshdesk.com. And then you can use our help docs to find any help articles or any new updates or new features. Any feedback that people are giving. So we have find properties, we have my inquiries, we have dashboard, we have my criteria, and we have for anyone that is looking to share feedback or share an idea, we can add it to here. So for example, this was for the calculator analysis, the ability to add a furniture budget section to ensure visibility of key investment metrics in final analysis. So for example, if you were to go to the listing page, so it's pretty small, it's just
Mm-hmm.
but now, based off their feedback that they left yesterday, I believe, let's see, 21 hours ago, we have improved it way more. So it has the ability to get the estimated cost for furnishing. And then also we have startup costs, furniture costs, rehab property costs, initial investment, operating expenses, occupancy, ADR, rent revenue, monthly profit, total cash return back, deposit, net cash flow, annual cash on cash return. So this was us taking this feedback, but also, as you can see, like this feedback, but also us reaching out to the coach to see what else they may have been getting feedback on based off of this recommendation. And then essentially from here, the team can actually, our team can actually show it in under review or as planned or in progress so that the students can be updated in real time, what's going on and what's happening. So the same goes for anything with my inquiries or dashboard or criteria as well. So this just gives you the ability to share feedback with us, share what you want, and we will do our best to create it as quick as possible so that you can experience those new things. So just a quick overview of the platform. So we have the dashboard. Again, on the dashboard page, there's some things that we're going to do to fix this, which will show rejected, and it will just show your data specifically instead of what's on the platform itself. The market insights is pulling from MatchVisor right now. Our goal is to have it pull from AirDNA or MatchVisor. The goal is for you to be able to toggle from which platform you want data to show. This will also be a toggle area as well where you can toggle what platform you want to show. Reason being is because if we're showing data based off of, like this property, for example, as unconfirmed, if we're showing you data based off of this property, well, this data is coming from MassVisor, but we want you to be able to see yourself that MassVisor is showing completely different information as AirDNA. But we want you to still be able to utilize the platform that you're being taught the most. And so we want to give you the ability to toggle between what you prefer the most. And then obviously on the platform, you can request approval. When you make a request, the property shows up in my inquiries, and essentially you can see what's pending, what's approved for sublease, or what's rejected. Now, anything that's approved for sublease, you can actually go to view the listing and you'll actually see the property and contact information on that page. So this is how we expose the property and contact information. This also is a exclusivity effect that we've created to where now instead of instead of seeing a property that instead of seeing a property that is unapproved that you may be interested in, and another student seeing that same property and then that student reaching out to that property owner before you even get to them is what we feared. So we want to give you that ability for if a property comes back approved, now you'll be the only person with that property owner's contact information as well. So we're trying to create a exclusivity effect to allow for you to have first dibs on these properties the same way you had when it came to submitting Zillow links.
I have a quick question for you.
Go ahead.
On the sublease like approval that you see right here, like let's say I'm that one's not gonna work out for me, or like under the approved for sublease, like I've already evaluated or talked to the owner, whatever, determined I'm not proceeding with that. Is there a way to like remove that from that list or no?
Yeah, that's actually something we're working on is giving you the ability to remove and then add notes. And then on rejected, we'll have notes available so you can see why it was rejected because one of the coaches had mentioned that it would be nice to see that if a property is rejected, you having the ability to know why it was rejected in case you want to
Right.
against the property owner, if you want to reach out yourself. So yes, to answer your question, we will have it the ability for you to remove it, also leave notes, and then you'll see the notes on the rejected as well.
And on the pending of approval, when will this, like for mine at least, I'm not seeing anything on pending approval or rejected, like it's just blank on mine. And I don't know, is that just because it's beta or when, like, because I'm sending links in still through the other site, am I not supposed to?
The properties that you sent on through the form, you'll still be updated via email. Those the Zillow links that you submitted, they're not going to reflect right here,
I'll only be able to see here if I request through.
the platform.
I understand. Okay, so so will the emails still be coming through on those properties?
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. That makes sense. Because when I looked, I sent a request or I sent a question or feedback, something about like some of the properties I saw on Zillow weren't coming through on this site,
Yeah.
like when I try to search it, but I guess they said that it'll take a little bit of time for everything to sync up, I guess, or something.
It like so Zillow is obviously a $1 billion company, and so they can pull all the properties that exist on the MLS all at one time. But that is pretty expensive in the grand scheme of things. That's why, other companies like apartments.com or whoever else can pull data all at once. We had a conversation with one of the co-founders of Zillow who no longer is with Zillow. He was a founder of Expedia as well. It was pretty pricey to talk to him, but he said this is what he recommends us do because if we have any competitors in the space, that it'll also be very expensive for them to do the same thing, but it eventually pays off. So by us pulling data from the MLS, what we're doing is when you add criteria, we can see that criteria, and we'll have the platform automatically send you properties based off of your criteria that are coming from the MLS. So we're utilizing the my criteria feature more so to serve you properties rather just than showing a bunch of properties on the platform that could be unrelated to what you're looking for.
No, ba basically you're pulling based off criteria
Right.
instead of pulling everything because pulling everything costs a lot more. So you're just pulling as needed.
Right. That's personalized to you. Saving multiple criteria. So the ability to add multiple criteria settings. So if they just want 3 bed, 4 bath in Scottsdale as one, but then 4 bed, 5 bath in Oklahoma as another, the ability to do that. Currently we don't have that. So we are working on that addition to where you can add criteria based off of the state, city, down to the bedroom, bathrooms, and then even projected cash flow and rent range. So now you'll have more than just the same options of every city. You'll have different options per city. Yeah, and also we still want you to understand that just because you're giving us feedback and leaving feedback about certain things, like we're still utilizing all the ways that we have been utilizing to help you get your first property. You just have this new platform in addition to it until we get everything shifted over.
Gotcha. Okay, so yeah, so we're still getting your full service.
Correct.
It's just eventually, but I'll keep trying to use this because then the things I get stuck on, I'll give feedback, it'll make it better.